What's up, 10 Skill Squad? If you are just getting into the RC hobby, there's a good chance you're going to get on your internet machine and one name is going to keep coming up over and over and over again. And that, of course, is Traxxas, the fastest name in radio control, because they certainly know great marketing. Whether it's having display and demos at various racing events, and absolutely saturating YouTube when they send their products to influencers like Adam LZ, Roman Atwood, Dude Perfect, even the slow-mo guys had their share. Or walk into any hobby shop and you will absolutely see the big Traxxas section, full of all the latest models and even probably flyers promoting Traxxas racing leagues. But go online to the forums or get on YouTube and you'll find the Arrma guys or the Kyosho guys, the Team Associated guys, treating the Traxxas guys like the kids at the school lunch table playing Magic the Gathering. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are speaking a language that you're pretty sure is English, but you can't understand a word of it.
I'm gonna scoop.
You don't have to scoop. You don't have to scoop. You're not actually dead. 1 through 4 over 5 to 6.
What the f*** is a mage or a horde? +5 damage this and Esper Fizzle Grixis that. Any game that requires you to learn a second language and requires math to do it, I can't get it. I can't get into it.
I'm losing my patience.
If Traxxas were a punk rock band, they'd be Good Charlotte. If they were a metal band, they'd be Nickelback. They are the Jurassic Park 3 to the RC world. Traxxas is overpriced, barely hobby grade, entry-level stuff. Their models are outdated. Their new models are blatant ripoffs of other brands. Their marketing is irritating. Their proprietary electronics are bullshit. People who buy them are morons. People who race them are buffoons. And the people that really buy them are only buying them because they haven't really tried anything else. Here's mine. The Fiesta ST Rally. The Latrax Rally. But hey, it's a Traxxas. My burnout car is a Traxxas Slash. My 4x4 Slash. My 2-wheel drive Slash. My Nitro Slash. My Nitro Rustler. My 2-wheel drive Rustler. My T-Max. My Fortec 2.0. My Fortec 3.0. My TRX4. My UDR. My Traxxas Blast. My Traxxas Villain. My Traxxas Spartan. And my Traxxas M41 widebody. RIP. So why does everyone love to hate Traxxas? Are they really that bad? Do they deserve all the hate? And why are they so freaking expensive? Let's find out. It's not like they were always the butt of our jokes. I mean, they've been around since the late 80s, and they have a pretty long, notable list of firsts. First fuel-burning, ready-to-run RC, the Nitro Hawk. First ready-to-run RC. First driver-actuated forward and reverse transmission. First remote-operated locking differentials. First high-low transmission. Auto shifting 2-speed transmission. Yep, they were the first to do it. First waterproof electronics. First 2.4 gigahertz transmitter with Apple iOS interface. First 100-mile-an-hour RTR vehicle. And they were the first ones to have self-riding monster trucks. And they have also sponsored some legit names in racing. Mike freaking Jenkins, John Force, Brian Deegan. That's only just naming a few. If you're into bashing, racing, crawling, drag racing, even drones, they've got you covered. And you want to know something that's really gonna upset you? Trigger warning. Traxxas makes the best Nitro cars in the game. Seriously, if you want to get into Nitro, there's nothing easier than Traxxas. With Easy Start, you just shove your doodle into the dingus, hit the button, and go. I've never touched the tuning needles on my T-Max, ever. I did adjust the needles on my Nitro Rustler when I put a new tuned pipe on it, and out of the box they come with a fairly safe, little on the rich side tune, so I just leave it there. And I know what you people are saying. Oh my gosh, that is going to foul your glow plugs. Here's the thing, I have never replaced the glow plug in my T-Max, and it is the oldest vehicle that I have. I got the T-Max secondhand from my friend James, and it was just sitting on the shelf for years when he gave it to me. So that glow plug has got to be at least 5 years old, at least. And I have run countless tanks of nitro fuel through the thing. I use it a lot. Compared to my other nitro vehicles, the thing is just absolutely effortless. And they're RC boats. I mean, RC boats require a lot of maintenance. You know, you have to grease the flex shaft every couple of runs. You have to make sure the motor is lubed. You got to waterproof everything as much as you can. You got to keep water out and then get water out once it comes in. It's a little finicky. But let's take a look at the Traxxas Spartan. The whole tray comes out to make servicing really, really easy. And if you want to remove the flex shaft, all you do is just loosen the collet and the whole thing slides right out. It's really simple to maintain this thing. Most, but not all, of their models are like this. They're really, really easy to maintain. Because if you make something hard to maintain, chances are people won't maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, it's going to break. And if it breaks, you're going to get upset. And if you get upset, you're going to go online and talk crap about them. And with a lot of their stuff, you really get the impression that it was designed to make it easy. So it's great if you're young, or if you're new to the hobby, or if you're just more into running rather than wrenching. This is where I think the line is for a lot of people. Hear me out. All that stuff about making it easy and accessible makes it appealing to newcomers, but less appealing to the serious enthusiast. It has a waft of 10-year-old kid asking for a Stampede for Christmas about it. You're more likely to hear from them from some social media influencer than K-pop or scale science. They're beginner RCs. They're not for the true enthusiast who is more interested in making something truly one of a kind. They don't really require any skill, which is the ready-to-run kind of culture. You just rip it out of the box, set the old berry meter to maximum, and you go rip it. The only real customization is just upgrading the stock parts. And when the stock parts are really chintzy, you kind of get the impression that they're just trying to get you to buy their upgrades for it. If I had $1 for every Traxxas shot cap that has blown apart, or every Traxxas servo that has just failed for no real reason, just died, I would have enough money to fix my Arrmas. And I'm not alone here. I asked you guys to tell me about your Traxxas woes, and there was no shortage of broken this and that, which brings me to my next gripe. Proprietary electronics. Why are their batteries so expensive? Why can't they just put a balance port on it so you can use any old charger to charge it? No. You gotta use the Traxxas charger. You gotta use the Traxxas batteries with the special Traxxas connector available at your Traxxas retailer.
Come on, folks.
I do not own any Traxxas batteries. None. Well, I take that back. I do own some of their nickel metal hydride batteries that I use like in my Easy Start with the Tamiya connector on it. And I don't think that really counts. And I think they do it because they want to control your experience. They want you to just know that if you buy a Traxxas Slash, you can get a Traxxas LiPo and a Traxxas charger, and everything is going to plug in and do its own thing. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to set up the charger. You don't need to do any of that. It'll just work. They want it to be simple and easy. It's kind of similar to like the Apple ecosystem. You know, if you have an iPhone and an iMac or a MacBook Pro or whatever, and you live that Apple life, it all integrates seamlessly. You know that one thing is going to work with the other thing, and it's all going to be really intuitive. Yeah, there's not as many third-party apps. The customization isn't there like it is on, you know, the Android platform, but Apple isn't nearly as interested in letting you have full reign over your phone or your computer. They're more interested in making sure that that experience is a good one. And I think Traxxas is kind of doing the same thing. And I guess there's really nothing wrong with it, but that's kind of an expensive attitude to have. And that's why, again, a lot of you guys are saying when you buy a Traxxas, you're buying it for the name. But is paying extra for the name and parts support, you know, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Quick little story time. I skidded my T-Max on its roof just a heroic distance. And as it was sliding on its roof, it rubbed away the wire that goes from the starting wiring harness to the actual glow plug itself. I mean, just skinned it apart. I needed another one, and it's kind of an obscure part for like a Traxxas Nitro thing, which aren't super popular. So I walked into my local hobby shop and I told the guy behind the counter that I needed the doodle that went from the dongle to the dingus. And he was like, oh, a Traxxas 4581X? Yeah, we got one. And he walks over to the shelf and he just picks it up and hands it to me. It was $7. Name another company where you can go into almost any hobby shop there is and get parts, obscure parts, for a truck that was made in 1999. And you can still buy a T-Max brand new. Any part that you need, they've got it. And chances are your hobby shop is going to have parts for it. Not just the old stuff, but the new stuff too. Their parts support is second to none. Seriously. And the guys behind the counter, you tell them, just give them a description of what it is that you're looking for. And they're like, oh yeah, you need a Traxxas part number, blah, 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 blah. It's the same as the Magic the Gathering guys. It's the same thing. You are a different kind of human if you can do that. I don't understand it, but believe me, I'm glad you're around. So I have no problem going and taking the X-Max out and just absolutely sending that thing because I know that there's going to be parts support for it. No matter how bad I destroy it, I can rebuild it pretty easily with parts at my local hobby shop. That's freaking awesome. And then there's their new models. Now, let's look at the Traxxas Sledge. Now, the Traxxas Sledge is really, really similar to another brand's model that we all know about. And I'm totally fine with competition. I think competition usually is good for customers. Competition usually drives quality up and drives prices down. Competition is what drives innovation. But what really kind of grinds my gears is when Company A sues Company B for copying their design. And then years later, Company A copies a design from Company B. I don't understand it. Now, I'm not arguing for or against either side, but I'd say that I'm a pretty loyal customer to both brands. And it just kind of, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. If you don't know what I'm referring to, I highly recommend you investigate it because it's a pretty interesting story. I guess what I'm saying is nobody's really perfect, except Taylor Swift. She's the exception. I've had good and bad experiences with just about every RC brand there is. I've had stuff that's broken out of the box. I have stuff that breaks every time I use it. I have stuff that has made me never need to turn a wrench on it, ever. It's still perfect. And I have stuff that still puts a smile on my face every single time that I drive it. One of my favorite comments that you left down below is from Canuck Chuck. Dude, I couldn't have said it any better myself. If it's something you build yourself, something you bought ready to run, if you use it every chance you get, or even if you got it just to put it on the shelf to look at because it's beautiful, as long as it puts a smile on your face, it's worth it. I don't care if it was $10 or 10,000 doll hairs. As Mighty Car Mods would say, I'd rather lose by a mile because I built my own car than win by an inch in something that someone else built for me. Your car is your story. Don't let someone else write the book. And thank you guys so much for watching. If this is your first time checking out the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found it. I like to do RC shenanigans and talk RC shenanigans all the time. And I've got some epic stuff coming up, so if you like to watch RC shenanigans, stick around. And if you like to talk RC shenanigans, let me know how wrong I am down in the comment section below. Happy Independence Day to all my American friends, and to all my international friends, go out and celebrate anyway. Go out and chop a Traxxas, or chop someone in your Traxxas. I don't care. It's all good, as long as you're having fun. I'll see you real soon.